I've got a little bit of a Cruella de Vil thing going on today. Hi there. So up to this point, I've only posted a few videos, and it's been a little bit of a mix of my commentary on YouTubers on the platform, as well as stories from my personal life. And although my videos have only been seen by a small number of people, I have gotten compliments, and that means a lot to me. So if you're a person out there and you're watching and you're not me, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. Your comments mean a lot to me. But I just wanted to pop in. I've inadvertently been making these long form videos, thinking that I'm not talking that long. So I really wanted to just pop in and weigh in on a couple of things, try to keep it kind of brief, but just to give my thoughts on what's gone on recently with Trisha Paytas and her recent vlogs around Jason Nash, the Vlog Squad, etc., as well as Gabbie Hanna's apology to the family and fans of Bianca Devins. So I mentioned in another video that I am subscribed to Trisha Paytas, but not following. So anything that goes on with her, I'm a little bit late on, but I found out about this and I'm intrigued. So last week, Trisha Paytas put up a series of vlogs, one after another. They were titled with dates: February 3rd, 2019, February 4th, 2019, February 5th, 2019, and then February 5th, 2020. And at first, it looked very weird because those first three vlogs, presumably from a year ago, were solely videos of her with her then boyfriend, Jason Nash. For the most part, it showed them shooting a music video, them having a lot of fun together. And then towards the end, we saw them as a couple kind of addressing the whole issue that happened a year ago with Trisha and the Vlog Squad. So to recap on that, in case anybody happens to see this and not know what I'm referring to, on February 2nd of last year, Trisha put out a video titled "Why David Dobrik is a Horrible Human Being." And basically around that time, David and Jason, though Jason continued to claim that he had nothing to do with these jokes. Anyway, in David's vlogs, there was kind of a running joke about Jason wanting to have a threesome with his then girlfriend Trisha and another YouTuber by the name of Tana Mojo.
There's this like joke that he knows I don't like, so he pushes it. He pushes it because he knows it gets like a reaction from me. It hurts me, but it also disgusts me.
And it wasn't meant to be anything serious, but nonetheless, it made Trisha uncomfortable, and she expressed this several times to Jason and to David. And Jason and David continually joked about this in the vlogs. There was a point at which one of these jokes was the straw that broke the camel's back with Trisha. She was still with Jason at this time, but she put out a video in which she was just so emotional. She really laid into a lot of people, kind of the Vlog Squad as a whole. She said some pretty mean things about David.
Because even though Jason's creepy and disgusting, David's on a whole other level of being an actual horrible person.
But I wouldn't say that she exposed him, because I don't remember her pointing out anything specific he'd done. She spoke negatively towards Jason's ex-wife. Where things got really kind of shocking was when Trisha essentially exposed Brandon Calvillo for dating a girl who was 17 at the time they started dating.
Brandon, in their friend group, was dating a high schooler last year. She was 17 years old.
So remember, that was February 2nd. And there was this whole shitstorm around that. I mean, obviously, Trisha was exiled from the Vlog Squad at that point. I think it was the next day, she and Jason put up a video, kind of both apologizing for their parts in this whole situation. Around that time, too, Brandon Calvillo and his girlfriend, the one we were referencing before, put up a video to talk about how Brandon did not know that Lacey was 17 at the time they started dating. They talked about how healthy and loving their relationship is. It was kind of awkward, if I'm being honest, and they took the video down shortly thereafter. And as far as I know, Brandon or anyone from the Vlog Squad hasn't really addressed that since. But kind of going back to these vlogs, dated February 3rd, February 4th, February 5th, I was kind of confused because in those videos, it was clear that they were old, that it was old footage of Jason and Trisha, but I couldn't understand why they seemed so happy and so unburdened when just a day prior was supposed to be when all of this happened, with Trisha posting this exposed video. But later, when Trisha gets to her present day vlog, February 5th of 2020, she reveals that the dates on these videos were inaccurate.
Technically, I misdated the music video days. Technically, those were probably February 1st, February 2nd. The 3rd, I think I made the video. The 4th was like a day of cooling off. And then the 5th was when that all happened.
The first two videos, titled February 3rd and February 4th, largely was footage of Jason and Trisha filming a music video and just generally being very happy together. The third video, February 5th, 2019, was them together kind of trying to work through this issue of Trisha exposing the vlog squad and bad-mouthing David and everything that ensued because of that. So I was confused as to why they seemed so happy and unbothered as early as February 3rd. But Trisha revealed to us that she didn't accurately date these videos, that in fact those first two videos occurred before the exposed video. And that just does not sit well with me. I do try to understand where Trisha's coming from, especially when she's making an effort to be open and vulnerable. And in the last vlog of this series, she really talks about comparing where she was at that time to where she is now. So it was supposed to be kind of a recap or where I am now, a year after heartbreak.
Where I think I always do this every year, no matter what. I always think about where I was the year before. It's the day that changed my life. For me, it's more of just truly reflecting on this day last year.
And I really try to feel for Trisha, try to understand and be compassionate as to where she's coming from. She seems like in many ways she is doing a lot better. It still seems in other ways that she's not over this breakup, and it is not on me to judge whether or not she should be over this. I have no idea what their love and their relationship felt like from the inside, of course. But it just does not sit well with me that she dated these wrong, which totally gives her audience the wrong impression about what was going on at that time. I do think it was done intentionally. I do think that she wanted to create interest by confusing us with shock and awe, a little bit of that as well. And she also talked about how she is one to address issues when they come up.
I like to address things. For me, I can't sleep unless I address things. If it makes it worse for me, okay, so be it. But to avoid things, I see a lot of YouTubers do that.
And I will say, I do appreciate that about Trisha. She gets involved in a lot of drama, very public drama, and she just about always addresses it. And most of the time will apologize for her part in these matters. She called out the vlog squad and alluded to Gabbie Hanna in talking about YouTubers who do not address controversy, scandals, etc. She points out that many YouTubers build a career off of sharing their personal lives with us, and so it is their duty to address matters in the public for our sake.
I get not addressing every little drama, but when it becomes a thing, I think people deserve acknowledgement of some sorts, and they can forgive you or they can't. But not acknowledging something, especially as a YouTuber where our whole career is based off being personal with you guys, is very weird.
And I kind of agree with her, but not entirely. I think that when there is a scandal in the public eye that involves a famous YouTuber, that it is their responsibility to address issues. The thing with the vlog squad is very rarely does some sort of scandal break that is public. We may notice some things happening, like Gabbie not being in the vlogs anymore, Trisha not being in the vlogs anymore, although we know what happened there. There's not much that happens in the public eye that seems like it needs to be addressed. A lot of us are curious. What happened with this person? What happened with that person? Do you have beef with them? Did so-and-so do something? But at the end of the day, that's all kind of curiosity, but not necessarily something we're entitled to. As far as the reference to Gabbie's most recent scandal,
there's a situation recently of someone using an article of like a dead girl, like, and shit, like they just don't address it. And like,
I do agree with Trisha there. Now, what happened here recently with Gabbie is that a few weeks ago, she made a video, I think it was called Transforming Myself into a TikTok E-Girl, in which she goes online and looks up pictures of e-girls to kind of get an idea of the aesthetic and how they dress so that she could give herself the e-girl look for a video. And while she was researching, she put up a screenshot of a reference image, and the image was of a girl whose life was taken from her in a very brutal manner. And in fact, the article attached mentioned that, and that was all in the screenshot. And people noticed this, people were infuriated with good reason, and pointed this out to Gabbie. So after a few days, she edited the video and blurred out Bianca's face. And for weeks, people have been asking her, why is this video still up? I believe the video is monetized, so you're still collecting money from this video and thus exploiting this girl. And why haven't you addressed this? So last night, Gabbie did post a video apologizing to Bianca, to her friends, to her family, to the rest of us. And she also explained kind of what happened on her end. She says that she was looking at an article that was very lengthy, and for the most part, the article didn't seem to have heavy subject matter. It really talked a lot about the e-girl and e-boy aesthetic with reference images throughout. And it was a long article. I believe she showed in the screen recording that Bianca's picture was somewhere towards the end, and if you were just skimming the page, you wouldn't have noticed that that there was such heavy subject matter attached to this photo. And she also pointed out that she did not know who Bianca was.
I missed it. My best friend who was sitting right next to me missed it. My boyfriend who was right behind us missed it. My editor missed it. From what I can tell, a lot of viewers missed it at first, and it's just a very unfortunate oversight.
And here's the thing. I believe her. I have been very critical of Gabbie, probably will continue to be, but I've heard some drama channels talking about what Gabbie did here in this video and how there's just no way she didn't know that this girl was a victim and that this was a very, very calculated move. And I just don't think that that's true. I don't think that Gabbie is that kind of evil. If she were that kind of evil, I think most of us would just write her off, not make pleas with her to address anything, to apologize for her behavior, to change her behavior. I think she would just be cast off, and I certainly wouldn't be interested in talking about her. What I see in Gabbie is a real person who sometimes gets carried away in drama, but I don't think that she's this evil mastermind that would exploit the death of a young girl this way. And it wasn't a perfect apology. It did sound at some points like she was making a lot of excuses for herself.
I was just trying to like take my time and figure it out and like ask people's advice and figure out the most respectful way to handle it. And then I just froze because I didn't know what to do to hurt the least amount of people possible. And then as it just kept getting bigger, it got more confusing on what to do. I just didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to make it worse. And in trying not to make it worse, I waited too long, and I think I made it worse.
But she did fully own up to what she'd done, as well as why it took her so long to address this. And in the video, especially towards the end, she does cry a good bit, and she says something towards the end, something like, I know it doesn't look good when we cry in videos like this, or you don't like it when we cry in these things.
So I'm sorry for this. I know that people don't like it when you cry in these types of videos.
And I think that that is a serious misconception that Gabbie's had for a long time. She has said before that if she were to address her scandals, there would be no right way to apologize. If she cried, people would say that she's looking for sympathy. And if she doesn't cry, people would say that she's too cold and stoic. But I just don't think that that is true either. I think that for the most part, we are smart enough to tell when someone is crying because legitimately they are going through something that is very difficult and emotional for them, versus a Laura Lee situation where you can't even hear the person speak through their sobs when they were the one in the wrong. I think it's a totally normal thing to cry a little bit. It shows that you're a real person. It shows that you are affected by your own mistake. But the tears shouldn't be at the forefront of an apology.
I did, and I'm so sorry.
Because apology is about not yourself.
Let this be me. Let this be about me.
But to the person or people that you've hurt.
It's about me.
So I think a little bit of crying does go a long way, but making this a big show all about yourself is when the audience takes a step back and says, hold on, wait a minute.
It's about me.
something's not right here. And I don't think Gabbie did that. So it wasn't a perfect apology, but it did seem sincere. It did seem comprehensive and thorough. And I think it's on us now to allow Gabbie the space to grow from this situation. I really, really hope that we aren't too hard on her at this point and allow her to see that something positive comes from making a real heartfelt apology for your wrongdoings. And she's able to go through this process and see that she can be forgiven and redeemed when she gives a heartfelt, sincere apology and learns from her mistakes. I said that before in my last video about Gabbie. I want to see her go through a redemption arc. I want to see growth. And I think it's important that we hold people to a standard of growth and not perfection. So I'm sure people will be picking apart her apology to point out where it is imperfect, because it is. Perfect apologies are kind of hard to come by. And frankly, there are a lot of people that are going to pick her apart no matter what. And to some degree, I understand. She's pissed off a lot of people time and time and time again. And so for some people, she's never going to be forgiven. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have certain diehard fans that are going to stick by her side no matter what she does and will not criticize her or hold her accountable for her actions. And there, you're looking at a black versus white situation. You're either all bad or all good, all guilty, all innocent. These modes of thinking do not allow for people to be people and for their actions to naturally be a mix of bad and good. So I guess the point of all of this is to say that I really do hope that more of us can start meeting in the middle, somewhere in the middle, where we can look at public figures like Gabbie Hanna, hold them accountable for their actions, but also allow them the space to grow and recognize when they've done that. That's something I harp on a lot. Progress over perfection. And that's really it. That's really just all I have to say about the situation. I really hope that in the future here, Gabbie does start to show us a little bit more of her real self and starts to own up to her stuff. More or less, I'm proud of her for this, because we haven't really seen any sort of apology like this from Gabbie. So although this is probably not going to reach many people, to those that it does, I hope this is just a reminder to hold people accountable, but to allow them space to grow and to also do those things for yourself. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I just wanted to pop in and say that. To my friends and family, hi. I know some of you are watching. It's really sweet of you. It means a lot to me. If you're a person out there who's not me and who's not my friends or family, thank you. Thank you so much. Some of you have been sending me really kind messages, and it just speaks volumes about how good we can be to strangers on the internet, that it's not all so bad out there. So I'm looking forward to making more videos, reading more comments. I'm sure they won't always be good, but for now, this experience has been pretty positive for me. So, you know, to the strangers out there, to my friends, my family, my coworkers, my acquaintances, and even that one person who gave me a dislike on one of my videos, thank you to all of you. And I'll see you next time.